Hello, attorney Melisa Quinones from Jamanco Law Partners here. I wanted to take this opportunity to make a short video about parenting time schedule, and how it will be affected during this coronavirus situation. I've been bombarded with clients and opposing parties' emails and phone calls regarding controversies of parties who don't want to exchange the children due to the shelter-in-place order that most states have, okay? So I wanted to go over a few tips and discuss what should happen in these type of scenarios, okay? First and foremost, this is an unprecedented situation. There are no guidelines out there as to how coronavirus should affect exchange of children during parenting time schedule. So we need to rely in common sense. Basically, when approaching parenting time schedules and exchanges of children, we will need to rely on common sense. So first and foremost, keep that in mind, and always when approached with a question or a doubt, rely on your common sense, which will be the best tool that you have out there right now, okay? That being said, and taken into consideration that common sense should always be your guiding light, we then need to focus on a court order or an allocation of parenting time. In most cases, but if you've reached this point when there is a parenting time schedule, you should also have a court order or an allocation judgment, which will be the document, the legal document that should be enforceable in this type of scenarios. If you don't have a parenting time scheduled by court order, then we will focus on that later on in my video. But right now, we need to focus on if you have a court order and a parenting time schedule that's already in place, there is no reason why that should change with counted exceptions. So, for example, if you have a parenting time schedule of every other weekend and a dinner date or an overnight during the week, except in specific circumstances, that court order and that parenting time schedule should continue to be what parties should rely on. So if you want to exchange the child curbside, if you want to have other safeguards in place, you are more than welcome to do so. However, there's no reason why a parent should be precluded from having their child during this time. So other than the exceptions that I will discuss later on in the video, if you have a court order or an allocation judgment or a parenting time schedule, even if it's temporary, that should continue to happen if the circumstances and all parties are healthy and there's no other issues arising. So you need to talk to your ex-spouse or the parent of the child and let them know how you want to proceed in terms of, we're going to do curbside pickup. We're going to do, it's fine for you to just walk the child to the door. I'll open the door for him. When the child comes into the house, to the same precautions you would do with anybody else. Wash their hands. If you want to go ahead and take their clothes off and put it in the washer. Those type of things. Again, common sense in terms of how you manage the outside world versus the inside world when the child arrives. If there is a case where you have a parent who has to go to work every single day because he has deemed an essential employee, or is a first responder, or is in the health industry, then in those type of cases, some situations should arise and some issues should arise because that person might be in the first line of defense and in contact with people that are potential cases, okay? In that sense, what should happen is that there's a conversation that should occur between the parent who is the first responsible and essential employee with the parent that gets to stay home to work, okay? and you should decide what will happen. If the need arises that you are not able to speak to the other parent because conversations are difficult or are toxic in nature, you should contact your attorney, okay, or the other side's attorney, and let them know that either you are a first responder or an essential employee and need to make other type of exchanges or change your parenting time schedule, or if you're the other side and you are basically have valid concerns as to how that parent is going to exchange the child and how that person might be at risk, first and foremost, a conversation should ensue, okay? If that does not happen, then contact your attorney or contact the other side's attorney and see what type of alternatives there are. If you're a parent who is a first responder or an essential employee and you have to go outside every single day, this is the time for you to take away your ego and think about your child first. The probability of you infecting your child is very high. So therefore, it might be best for the other side to take temporary parenting time and custody of that child, okay? Doesn't mean that you're not going to be able to have contact with the child, but on a daily basis, your contact with the child should be limited, and the other parent who gets to stay home should be the primary caregiver, okay? You can do a temporary order with the other side and have the attorneys email it to the judge by agreement, and enforcing or just limiting how that parenting time is going to look like. Nowadays, there is FaceTime, there is telephone conferencing. You will have contact with your child, but you need to put your child first, okay? So be creative as to the ways that you can share time with your child. Put your child first and think about how maybe the other side for a while can be the parent with the majority of the parenting time in order for that child to be safe, okay? Finally, I would like to point out that in those cases where there are guardian ad litems or appointed GALs, that person should be the person to call or to contact if there is the case, okay? Do not use this time to request for more time than you have a court order in place for. This is not the time to be approaching this on an egocentric way to get more time, just using this as an excuse. This is not the time for this. Courts are being adamant as to only hearing emergencies. So don't put yourself at risk. Don't put your child at risk. Follow the court order. Follow common sense. And contact your attorney if there is a need for it. Otherwise, try to get into an agreement with the other parent in order for your child to be secure at all times. Okay? If you still have questions about how to go about your parenting time schedule, or if you need assistance as to clarifying any questions that you may have during this time, feel free to reach out to us. We are available. Our office continues to operate as normally as possible. All our attorneys are working constantly in all our matters, including remotely, and we are available to do free phone consultations. You can access us through the website, www.glawpartners.com. You can also call our offices, 630-635-5555. Or email us at attorney@glawpartners.com, and we will make sure that your questions are answered. We take care of general civil litigation matters, family law, employment, workers' compensation, and traffic and criminal matters, as well as personal injury. So we are available for you during these stressful times, okay? So hang in there, stay healthy, and please reach out to us if we can be of any need or assistance. Thank you.